Welcome to Chatham-Kent Cougars junior varsity football action here in Chatham. The Cougars hosting the Sault Sabercats, and it's Sault Ste. Marie kicking off the football to the Cougars. Going to pick that up about their own 20-yard line, making the way, weaving through would-be tacklers, and he's got a lane, and he could go all the way. Nakoma Scott down the sideline, might have an angle, just dragged down along the sidelines. What a return. Nakoma Scott to about the 10-yard line.
Yeah, if it wasn't for 26, it looked like Tristan O'Flynn came at him and was running behind him. I think he had jumped to him because he actually blew past all the defenders there. And yeah, blew past all the defenders there, and it was number 26 that took him down. Tristan O'Flynn actually just pushed him out of bounds, really. They could have carried him, I think, just a couple more yards.
Fantastic way to start this football game for the Cougars. Again, junior varsity action here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. The 4-0 Cougars hosting the 3-1 Sault Sabercats. So you can imagine a long bus ride here for Sault Ste. Marie. 1st and 10 for the Cougars. Going to pitch it outside. Looking to sweep around that right side, and he's got a lane and into the end zone. One offensive play, and Ethan Kupka in for the major, and what a start for the Cougars.
Well, in a game like this with this heat outside, I mean, it's going to be really important to set the tone early in this one. If you can start a good lead in this game as they have shown so far, I mean, you just sort of grind them out after that.
Kupka with the, we'll call it an 8-yard touchdown scamper around that right side, untouched. And what a start for the Cougars. A big return on the opening kickoff. Then one offensive play is all they need to put 6 on the board, looking to add the extra point. Good snap, good hold. It's up. And nice line drive kick between the posts. And just like that, the Cougars out to a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, dominant start for them. You mentioned the long bus ride for the Sioux. I mean, in this heat, too, we were hearing some rumors that it's possible the air conditioning was busted or at least malfunctioning, not working properly on their bus. There were kids coming off of that bus just dripping with sweat. So you can imagine that having home field advantage. We talk about that sometimes in sports. Well, this is definitely home field advantage here for the Cougars, having that time just to cool down before this one.
Well, good news for the Sioux. If they have a fight tomorrow, they're going to make weight. So that would be an unbelievably hot one, though, wouldn't it, on the bus if the air wasn't working? Because just to give the listeners and viewers an idea, this game was actually postponed by about 20 minutes because the heat index was too high to start the football game.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, I think they were predicting before today, I'm not sure if it got there or not, but 47 Celsius, like almost 50 Celsius. And when you're in all that equipment down there, too, you can imagine it feels even hotter.
Unreal. So now the Cougars, after that quick score, kicking it off to the Sioux. Good-looking kick there, nice and deep. Looks like that was touched by the return man on that far side. He's going to scoop it and then quickly taken down. Nice coverage there from the Cougars. And now the Sioux will take their first offensive possession, starting inside their own 20-yard line.
Seeing that kick, you had the flag on the field, too, back there. Not on the field, rather, but, you know, the flagpole, the Canadian flag flying there. The wind, I think, just carried that one a little bit further because you saw 26 had to turn around to grab that one. So I think it just fooled him a little bit and flew a little bit further than he was expecting.
This is the first offensive possession for the Sioux. 1st and 10. They're going to go shotgun. No running back in the backfield. The quarterback's going to keep it. Nice run up the middle. Staying on his feet, fighting for extra yards. Nice job by the QB there.
Yeah, taking some contact in the center there, too. They got to plug that gap a little bit and just try to tighten things up in there. If he breaks through there, he could be gone.
2nd and a short 2. Around that right side. Looks like it's the quarterback again.
Yeah, grind him out with the run, though. In a heat like this, you know, those pass plays are going to just stretch the field a little bit, and you can move the chains quicker. But when you got to grind him out like this, if the defense can keep him running, I think they're going to just overheat him out there.
Well, they're going to hand it off this time inside. Cougars pursuing from behind, but, wow, nice run here from Sault Ste. Marie. Finally dragged out of bounds, but That's a good-looking run there from Nick Pagnotta. Finally pushed out of bounds by the Cougars, Quentin Emmerich, but not before a nice big gain.
A couple runs right up the gut. You have to wonder what they're going to pull out of it next. And, yeah, hand it off number 20, and he takes it out the outside, the sweep around there, and just found some room in both sides so far, finding some success with their run game.
Hold on here. Maybe a flag on the play that we didn't see there. Oh. No, they're saying offside against Sioux there, so this one going to come back.
Yeah, either way, that really hurts for the Sioux after a big run like that. You have to have all those yards taken back. In this heat, too, you know, you got to march back the field down on the opposite way. That's not what you want to do at this point in the game.
So that erases the first down and makes it a 1st and 15 now for Sioux. And they're going to fake the handoff. It's going to be a quarterback keeper again up the middle. Takes a pretty good hit there in the middle of the football field, but a nice gain.
Yeah, just shy of the first down there, so that was a nice run again from him. He's showing some those inside runs, too. Quite often now they're trying to find some holes up the gut there.
And Sioux likes to get to the line quickly as well, so the Cougars' defense is going to have to stay sharp and line up quickly. Quarterback keeper again, dragged down from behind. Nice job, but not before getting the first down. Again, that was the quarterback, Tyler Bretchen. And fresh set of downs here for the Sioux.
Saving a high snap there, too. It was just over his head. He had to sort of really reach up to grab that one, but still managed to grab that, hold it firm, and again, just another quarterback keeper, and seems like it's their go-to play so far.
Yeah, clearly Bretchen's got some athletic ability. This time he's going to roll to his right, and he's going to put the ball in the air, looking for a receiver on that far side, just out of the reach, and it's going to fall incomplete, bring up a second down.
And we saw those defensive linemen coming in there, just giving him pressure right away. He didn't have a whole lot of chance, had to roll out to his right away, and throwing it out to his right there, and the pass was just a little bit short there, as you mentioned, and just falls just out of bounds.
These two teams can be very, very explosive on the scoreboard, putting up points. So far this season, the Sioux in 4 games has put up 108 points, while their defense only allowing 64. On the Cougars, on the flip side, they've scored 176 while allowing only 26. They're going to go with the run up the middle this time, and there is a crease, and it is exposed and still on his feet. Finally dragged down. Looked like that was Tristan O'Flynn with the carry, and very, very quick through the hole and into the secondary, and the Sioux have a fresh set of downs coming up on that run.
Yeah, it was a nice run again. I think it was number 20 maybe that got the handoff there. I think it was Nick Pagnotta. But he's the one that came around the outside, this near side last time. This time goes to the far side and, again, finds some room. Luckily, the Cougars had him wrapped up by the ankles.
Ooh. Good job that time by the Cougars defense, stiffening up in the middle. Bretchen, the quarterback, keeping that one, but little to no gain there. Took a pretty good hit in the hole. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, both teams with some big plays so far. Seems like offense, you mentioned the offense putting up big numbers, so it seems like that so far in this game.
Bretchen's going to drop back to pass, looking for his receiver, and it's picked off by the Cougars, overthrown. And there could be a lane there to go all the way. Finally chased down along the sidelines. The pick by Ryan Middleton for the Cougars, and a nice return on top of that. And the offense going to get the ball back for the Cougars.
Yeah, just a great spot by him. I don't know if it was actually tagged for coverage right on that man on that play, but just in the right place, right time. Looked like it went sort of through the receiver's hands or just past him. And as you mentioned, number 15 there was just right on it and was able to bring it back into enemy territory there.
Nice play there from Middleton. That ball overthrown for the intended receiver, and on top of that, it was good coverage there from the Cougars in the secondary. See if the Cougars can take advantage here. 1st and 10. They're going to go to the ground game over that left side. Nice big hole, and then a nice stiff arm to push the defender away. Gleaming for the corner and into the end zone. Tyler Shumansky making it look easy. 35-yard touchdown run. The Cougars, 2 scores on 2 offensive plays.
And 2 runs, too. Don't have to air it out or anything. Make it easy for the quarterback. He just hands it off to one of those guys in the backfield and let them do the rest of the work.
Boy, oh boy. The Cougars offense batting 1,000 right now. As you mentioned, Matt, 2 offensive plays, 2 touchdowns. Looking to add the extra point here to go up 14-0. Snap is good, hold is down, and the kick is up and good. The Cougars do go up 2 scores, 14-0. And boy, oh boy, the Cougars look very, very sharp here in the very early going of this football game with 6:53 still to play in the first quarter, up 14-0.
A good time to mention some of our sponsors today as well to make this happen. We got Cogeco, EnviroClean Car and Dog Wash, big part of this. Formosa's Pro Shop, and Campbell Toyota. We want to thank all those guys for helping out, making this possible. This amazing run by the Cougars this year, but also just, Chatham-Kent Cougars football and the way we're able to present it for you guys too.
Well, so far in the theme of Formosas, the Cougars just throwing strikes one after another here so far. They're going to look to kick this off now to the Sioux. On the left side, return man playing a little bit deeper this time after that first kick. Nice job weaving his way through that right side of the Cougars coverage team. Finally forced out of bounds, but all the way up to close to the 50-yard line. Good field position here for the Sioux to start their second offensive possession.
Yeah, well, we saw last time, and we couldn't really get a chance to see in that play how good he was because he sort of had to run backwards to grab the ball first. This time we see when Tristan O'Flynn's got the ball in his hands, he's going to make a play, and that time almost up to midfield.
So the Sioux, 1st and 10 on their own 50. They're going to fake the handoff and run it up the middle, and nothing there. Nice defense from the Cougars. Couple of Cougar defenders teaming up to make that stop on the quarterback, Bretchen.
Yeah, the rule and no gain on that one, but it looked to me like he fell backwards. That could have even been tagged for a loss on that play. I think they're sort of figuring out those plays and able to read it pretty quick there. And looks like we might actually have a water break here. Just it is so hot outside.
One of the Cougars in the secondary walking off the football field. Looks like that was Middleton, number 15, who had the interception the last series on defense. Walking off with the trainer there. Looked like he took a knee right after that play, so officials going to give the players a chance to get a sip. Again, it's extremely, extremely hot out here today in Chatham.
And you think about that play that he made earlier, running down almost the whole field on that return on that interception too. I mean, that takes a toll on you whether you have a quick break in between or not. It's just so hot out there. When you're making one of those big plays, it's going to take it out of you.
After that strong defensive stand on 1st and 10, brings up a 2nd and 10 now for the Sioux Sabercats. Go shotgun. Going to pitch it outside to the running back. Going to try to get the edge. Good defense so far, but Cougars rallying to the ball, somehow eluding the tacklers. Didn't look like number 20, Nick Pagnotta, had any chance of getting the first down. 3 defenders there, but somehow weaved his way through them and picked up the 10-plus yards for the first down.
Yeah, they've handed him the ball a couple times now, and he's shown something special every time. And so this time again, just you mentioned, looked like it was going to be one of those short game plays potentially, but made it into something himself. It wasn't necessarily the play design that did it for him, but an individual effort that made up those yards.
Brings up a 1st and 10 now for the Sioux. First time they're on the Cougars side of the field. They're going to hand it off on the receiver coming across the formation. Ooh, nice hit on that far side. O'Flynn had the carry there, number 26. for the Sioux. Dragged down after a gain of about 5 yards.
Yeah, so it looks like you got a couple guys will be handing the ball back there on those run plays, and the quarterback can keep it himself as well. That gives them some options.
Again, the Sioux quick to the line of scrimmage. They don't waste any time between plays. Yeah, fake the handoff. Quarterback keeper. Going to be, I believe it looks like that's going to be enough from where we're sitting anyway. And the sticks are moving. They are indicating that's enough for a first down.
That run is good enough for a first down.
That's this Sioux team. I mean, they just keep putting the ball on the ground. A couple of pass plays, and one was an interception. The other one fell out of bounds out on the far side. So, and yeah, we're going to have to see here if one of these players is maybe have cramping up or something like that. It kind of looks like.
Yeah, we've got a player for the Sioux taking a knee there. So the officials calling for the water to come out onto the field. And anytime we've got a stoppage here for an injury, looks like the officials are going to wave the water crew on. Get some high-quality H2O into those players out on the field. Make sure everybody stays hydrated.
There's not a cloud in the sky right now, so that's not helping either. I mean, it's so humid out here. You can't necessarily see. You can see the sunshine, but you can't feel that heat. Like it's just blazing. And yeah, with all that equipment packed on, and you got the socks hiked up, and all the gear on, helmet on too, just keeping you hot. All the players on the sidelines just trying to keep cool when they can.
There we go. Looks like they're ready to put the ball back in play now. And there's the whistle from the official. So it's 1st and 10 here for the Sioux on their second offensive possession. One player in the backfield, the quarterback. And it's a quarterback keeper going to keep it up the middle again. Good job by the D there for the Cougars, bringing down Bretchen on. Boy, it looked like a short gain, but you look at that stick, it was a gain of about five, almost 6 yards.
I was going to say the same thing, looked like 2 to 3 yards to me, but when you look at the angle, I guess maybe that has something to do with it, picking up 5 yards on that play.
Yeah, it really must, because it really didn't look like that from here, did it? That brings up 2nd and 4 here for the Sioux. Bretchen going shotgun. He's going to hand it off this time. And boy, oh boy, some space and some speed to burn down that left side and in for the score. Believe that was Pagnotta. And boy, oh boy, number 20 has some speed. He got to the corner easily, finds that corner pylon, and the Sioux on the board for the first time.
Yeah, with this wide field out here, I mean, these running backs have been showing it. And if you get them thinking about going inside like you can with a quarterback keeper that they've been doing, you just pass it off one of those running backs. And Pagnotta has shown speed so far this game. He's had a couple of big explosive runs, and this one was just the same as the others, except this one went to the end zone. So their only turnover was that interception pass. You can bet they'll probably keep it on the ground quite often in this game.
Decent snap, good hold there, and the kick is up and good. So the Sioux pull within a score. The Cougars still lead 14-7. Again, you're watching Chatham-Kent Cougars football here. Junior varsity action. The Cougars hosting the Sabercats all the way from Sault Ste. Marie. Mike James joined by Matt Weavering. Jeff Brooks on the camera, as usual. Trusty JB catching all the action there up high in the sky.
You mentioned they came all the way from the Sioux. You know what they could have used on that bus, I'm sure, was some ice, and we got sponsors again. So Kona Ice is one of the sponsors for this this broadcast today, and we got Swain Bros as well. They're the locks and locksmiths going on. We got Peach Physiotherapy and Wellness Center and MP Roofing and Siding. And I can tell you, I've done some roofing jobs, and man, oh man, leave it to somebody else when it's this hot outside.
Yeah. Oh boy, I couldn't imagine being on a roof on a day like today, I tell you. Yeah, that's just craziness right there. You're talking an extra like 10, 15 degrees for sure. Sounds like somebody's alarm in the parking lot going off. So the Cougars set to receive now after that Sioux score. You remember the last time the Cougars returned a kick, it was the opening kickoff, and it was Nakoma Scott that nearly took it to the house. Put the Cougars inside the Sioux 10-yard line. I wouldn't be surprised if the Sioux try to avoid kicking it to number 2 this time. And it is Nakoma Scott. They didn't avoid kicking it to him, but good coverage this time from the Sioux. This time the Cougars going to start much deeper in their own territory than the last time.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was the wind playing a factor there or not, but the kick was a little bit shorter than Nakoma Scott was lined up for, and that makes a difference. When you got to grab that ball off the ground and track it that way instead, it really takes your momentum down, and you can't quite get that explosiveness that you're hoping for like you had on the first return.
Yeah, good point, Matt. Good point. Cougars going to start now at their own 35. Again, we mentioned the Cougars have had the ball on offense twice. They've run a total of 2 offensive plays, and they have a total of 2 touchdowns. I don't expect that to continue, though. They go shotgun, hand it off to the deep back. And I believe that was Nakoma Scott again. Oh, excuse me, it was not. It was Tyler Szymanski. Szymanski had the second touchdown for the Cougars. Pick up just... we'll call it a long 1 yard. Brings up a 2nd and 9 here for Chatham-Kent. They gotta fake the handoff. Gonna go deep. Defense is there for the coverage, and good job. That pass intended for Ethan Jordan. Jordan did a good job actually coming back for the football, preventing that ball from getting intercepted.
Absolutely, and he almost turned it into a defensive player there when you're that wide receiver who's trying to break up a pass there. So quick hands by him and a smart play to knock that pass away, at least prevent the interception from taking place there.
It looks like the Cougars going to be 2 and out on their 3rd offensive possession. So lining up to punt this one away. Wind is blowing at their back. 2 men deep for the Sioux. Good high kick. Oh, the Sioux 2 return men bump into each other. Decent field position here, though, for the Sioux. Going to be into Cougar territory just over the 55-yard line.
You mentioned a nice high kick there. That did hang up there for a good amount of time, giving the defenders some time to chase that down and track that down, and all sort of avoiding a bit of a mishap there, too, with the Sioux, as their 2 return men did run into each other there, and it could have been a lot worse for them.
So the Sault Ste. Marie Predators. I keep wanting to call them the Greyhounds after the OHL teams. 1st and 10 here. Going to hand it off. And, oh, nice move. And more. Number 20 again with the carry. Boy, is he ever elusive. Nick Pagnotta. Boy, oh boy, number 20 is slippery.
Yeah, not only that, but just the way he moved the ball between his carry arms there to pull out a stiff arm to gain that extra couple yards there as he was running along the sideline too. So he's got some awareness, and he's got his head up, and he's looking around at who's coming at him a couple yards ahead.
Boy, Pagnotta looks like the kind of player where you need more than one defender to bring him down. You need to corral him with a couple. 1st and 10 here for the Sioux. Going to make it a quarterback keeper over that left side. Decent pickup for Bretchen. And it's going to be 2nd and just a yard, it looks like, for the Sioux here. Starting to gain some momentum.
Yeah, and, you know, with all these run plays, grinding down the defense, too, in a hot game like this, if you're running between 2 guys, your quarterback and your running back, then you got a couple of guys who are sharing the workload, whereas all these defenders are all trying to get in on the ball.
2nd and 1 here, and they're going to hand it off. The Sioux testing the middle of that Cougars defense. Oh, and a beautiful spin move. Pagnotta dragged down, into the end zone. Touchdown, Sioux, and number 20 is special.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier in this game just how many points the Cougars have put up and not allowed very many at all. But this Sioux team might give them a run for the money today. I mean, those 2 scores that the Cougars had were on just quick plays like that. But the Sioux, by comparison, getting a number of first downs and moving the chains down the field and grinding down that defense in this hot sun out here.
Boy, oh boy, Pagnotta with a beautiful spin move in the hole. Just sheds a tackler and then takes it to the house. He is very talented. And you got to love the number he wears. As a Barry Sanders fan growing up, you can't go wrong with 20. Ooh, and that one is no good. So the Cougars will maintain the lead at 14-13.
Going up like this, it still went through. Did Peter call it good or not? Did Peter give me a finger? Peter waved it off. So he's giving me the point.
Oh, they're going to say that went through after the deflection.
Yeah.
Wow.
Favorable bounce there, yeah. Let's bar up instead of bar down. I don't see that too often.
Yeah, apparently. Well, the Sioux, you've got to be impressed. They trailed 14-0 early on, very, very early on. It didn't take the Cougars very long to jump out to that lead, but the Sioux have come right back and tied this one up on consecutive offensive possessions.
And to bounce back from a couple of those plays as well, like, the first offensive play they score, the second offensive play they score, and that interception as well. To bounce back from all that, the Sioux really is showing some character in this game.
An impressive focus, really, especially when you consider the age group, junior varsities. The ebbs and flows of a game can really get to you at the younger ages, but they've done a good job staying focused and not really falling back on their heels too much after trailing 14-0 early on. And they've tied it up quite quickly here.
And you have to wonder sometimes through these long road trips, so that's just the bus legs wearing off after the first couple of minutes, and then they're really locked in now.
They're going to kick it off. Nice high kick. Cougars going to catch it at about their own 25-yard line. That's Szymanski looking to cut across the field, but ooh, good tackle there. Good coverage by the Sioux.
Yeah, 29, Gaston Matilla just came in there and just wrapped him up right around the waist and took him down. He was looking for some space there, and he didn't see anything ahead of him, had to go out wide a little bit, and that's 29, though, just speedy coming through there to wrap him up.
That brings up a 1st and 10 for the Cougars, just inside their own 30-yard line. The last offensive possession the Cougars had was the first time that they didn't score on offense. And they were only on the field for 2 plays before the Sioux forced them to punt the ball, excuse me. So Torres going to pitch it out to the running back. Nice patient run, waiting for his blocks to set up in front of him. That's going to be Nakoma Scott. Pickup of about 5 yards on first down.
Yeah, you mentioned that patience, too. It sometimes looks like he's running a little slow. He's not a slow guy. He's just waiting for that hole to open up there for him so he can burst through. You see that sometimes in the NFL, a guy like Le'Veon Bell, he's so quick and explosive, but just waiting for that area to open up so they can just explode through it.
That's right. It's definitely a special skill for running backs to have defenders wanting to get at you and lay a big hit on you, and you're just kind of almost jogging along, waiting for that hole to open up. 2nd down, and nice run there for the Cougars. That time it was Nakoma Scott again, and he picks up about 6 yards, enough for the first down. Nice, tough run up the middle.
Yeah, and good for these Cougars, too, to keep the chains moving here and just to keep moving it up the field, show that they can get something going after coming up a bit short last time.
And you also want to make that Sioux defense sweat a bit. The Cougars, they've scored so quickly. Really, the Sioux defense hasn't been on the field for very long. This time with the carry, it's number 8 with a big hole. Szymanski, he finds that far sideline, looking to outrun the defense. Finally dragged down, but a big gain. Nice run from Szymanski. And a big first down there for the Cougars.
Yeah, and he left one or two Sabercats in his wake there along the sidelines too as he went out wide. Had some room out there, and he's got some speed and was just able to stretch the field down there.
Impressive run from Szymanski, bouncing it outside and then showing that speed to run away from some of the defenders from the Sioux. 1st and 10 now, about the 32-yard line of the Sioux. Going to pitch it, try the near side this time. Looks like it's Nakoma Scott with the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Just to give you some idea of how tired these guys are, I don't know if you picked it up in the backfield there, but Szymanski, number 8, who had that big run after this play here, was just sort of hanging his head down, just gasped after that last run. So you can tell a normal day, average temperatures, you're not going to have necessarily that same level of exhaustion, but they're really going to have to hand the ball off and rely on 2 of those running backs, Nakoma Scott and Tyler Szymanski, and hand it off to both of them. They're going to have to share it back there because it's just so hot out there.
Well, and speaking of the heat, we're at the end of the first quarter here, tied at 14s, and what they've done is the officials indicated that they will add an extra 2 minutes between the quarters, between the first and second quarter and the third and the fourth quarter. So we've got an extra 2 minutes here between quarters, and give the players a chance to rest and get some water and hydrate before the start of that second quarter.
Well, I've got some time to mention some more of our sponsors. So we got Evans Wholesale, Stanley Insurance, and Quo Vadis Pizzeria. Just thanks to those guys too for helping us out and making this possible that we could watch these, we could broadcast, and you guys can watch these Cougars football games. And so far, just a really great game here too. I mean, only 1 quarter down, we've got 4 touchdowns out there, and then just some really big plays as well. Not just some grind them out, some big plays on the ground, a lot of running, not too much in the air, and yeah, just a scorcher of a game so far.
And 2 very skilled teams. You can see that right off the bat in that first quarter of football. Both teams can be very explosive on offense. They can make plays on defense, and both teams look very evenly matched. And when you look at the records between these 2 teams, it tells you that. The Sioux Predators, or Sabercats, excuse me, coming in with a 3-1 record. The Cougars 4-0. Obviously, both teams have the ability to put some points up on their opponent, and we've seen that in the first quarter.
Yeah, and for a team like, the Cougars coming in here, 4-0, you got all that confidence coming in, and then all of a sudden you allow 14 points in the first quarter. You got to show some character now in this one. For the rest of this, just to bounce back from that, they have shown, I mean, they've kept up with and took the lead early in this game, but now it's about just extending that in the second quarter here.
And the Cougars have they did a nice job here with this with this drive that they've got going, because the Sioux, after the Cougars scored 2 quick ones, the Sioux themselves put up a couple quick ones there and made it look kind of easy as well. So the Cougars are now responding, which is certainly nice to see for Cougars fans. 1st and 10 here for the Cougars in Sioux territory. Going to draw it back to pass. Evan Torres rolling to his right, looking for a receiver. He's got one on that far side. Forced out of bounds. It's Ethan Jordan with the snag. And they're going to say it was a loss of about a yard, it looks like.
Yeah, he did drop back pretty far there, so, and he just ran out of time on the far side there, or ran out of room rather on the far side there on this wide field, but still he just couldn't keep it in bounds there just to push it up the field.
Brings a 2nd and 11 here. The Cougars have the ball just inside the Sioux 25-yard line. See if the Cougars put this in the air here. Looks it's passing down for sure. A bit of a high snap. Torres does a good job corralling it. Now he's got some pressure, looking to find somewhere to go. They got a pretty good block coming back there from Bennett Schaefer, but nowhere for Torres to go, and he's going to take the sack.
And for Bennett Schaefer, they're just taking him down with that block. That's something where, even though it's a big loss play here, that's going to hurt later on. So that defender's going to feel that one later.
And Schaefer trying to throw a block and give his quarterback Torres a little more time to maybe find a receiver downfield or tuck it and run. But good job from the Sioux D there to toughen up.
The thing about this too, right, is you pushed him back so far down the field. You were in pretty good field goal range there potentially, and now you just push back so far out of here. With that, about you're about 10 yards back where you had the original line of scrimmage.
Well, you wonder too if the extra 2 minutes between quarters kind of help the Sioux regroup and get some extra time to recover. Nice kick there from the Cougars. The Sioux going to take this out of their own end zone, looking for somewhere to go, then finally sliding down. Looks like he got out of the end zone. And not giving up the single for the Sioux. Oh, it is a single. Waiting on the call. It didn't. It looked like he got out of the end zone.
Otherwise, it would be no. Otherwise, they bring him to 35.
Yeah, he did get out of the end zone, so the Cougars don't get the single there, and the Sioux get the ball at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, so just for sneaking out of there, I mean, at first it kind of looks like it's going to be a bad situation for the Sioux there, but at the 20, you got a little bit of room to breathe back there now.
You're going to go shotgun, one back behind the quarterback. Bring the receiver in motion. They're going to hand it off up the middle to Pagnotta this time. Good defense from the Cougars there. And very, very short gain. Go shotgun again. And they're going to fake the handoff. Quarterback's going to keep it. They had him wrapped up, but somehow Betchin escapes. And he's shifty, finally dragged out of bounds. But boy, oh boy, he was able to get away from a couple would-be tacklers. And Betchin picks up enough for the first down when the Cougars had him trapped for a loss.
Yeah, you mentioned that there was contact right away, almost immediately, as soon as he decided to keep the ball and run it up to center. One of those defensive linemen just managed to make their way in there and touch him at least, but just couldn't knock him down, and he made them pay for it.
They're going to hand it off there on the receiver coming across the field. Nice run there on first down. That was Tristan O'Flynn, number 26. And a gain of about 8 or 9 yards there on first down. QB keeper right up the middle. That's going to be close. That's Betchin who kept it there. That.
I think they
got it.
Yeah,
I think they got it. I thought it was going to be closer than that, but it looks like they've got it.
The angle from the booth here has fooled me before, but I think in this case they're going to give it to him.
The sticks. Well, the sticks are not moving. Oh, and now they are. There we go. Okay.
And quickly to catch up to this now.
First and 10. Now we've got a whistle here. The official's going to huddle up here briefly, talk this one over. No flags on the field, but they want to talk it over. We go first and 10 for the Sioux. They're going to hand it off up the middle. Oh, nice job. Oh, my goodness. Still on his feet. Shedding tacklers left, right, and center. Actually making it back to the line of scrimmage and maybe picking up a yard or two. Unbelievable. Pagnotta is just so slippery. We do have a flag on the field. Looks like it's coming in the area, the secondary of the Cougars.
I mentioned the amount of time that the defense has been spending on the field here for the Cougars, even stuff like this. I mean, some of these delays. I mean, we're sitting in a booth up here just cooking away, but they're out on the field there in the full sun too. All the equipment on and just waiting for the officials to call something here.
Here comes the call. Looks like it's against the Cougars.
Yeah, they're walking it out, so we quite... 25 yards.
Boy, oh boy. Number 32, Ethan Kupka, has just been ejected from this football game. And I have to be honest, I did not see what prompted the ejection.
Yeah, no, I didn't see exactly what went on there either, but must have been enough for an ejection, so quite serious there.
1st and 10 here for the Sioux. Boy, that's Pagnotta who's got the ball and now is going to take it to the house. Boy, oh boy. Holy cow. Pagnotta with the beautiful run. And now the Sioux have their first lead of this football game.
Yeah, just another explosive run from him. We've seen that a couple times so far in this game, and they're going to have to find some way to shut him down if they're going to pull back in this.
Well, he just continues to make tacklers miss play after play. You get your hands on him, but you can't bring him down. And then as soon as you do miss him, he's got the speed to run away from you.
And now to lose Kupka in the backfield, too, as a linebacker back there. I mean, one of the guys who's been watching him and tracking him so far in this game, just not able to contribute there anymore for the rest of this game.
Sioux lining up for the extra point here.
Okay, I would start shooting someone, and that's the wider strong side 8.
Good snap and kick. It's up and good. And the Sioux have their first lead of this football game. 7:19 to go here in the second quarter. It's 21-14. The Sioux with 3 straight scores after the Cougars had jumped out to an early 14-0 lead.
Yeah, no kidding. It's quite a change after that first bit of this game. I mean, first half of the first quarter there, it looked like the Cougars were just going to dominate and run away with this one again, as they have recently. I think 3 or 4 games now in a row. I'm not sure if all 4, but at least the last 3, more than 30 points a game, and put up 60+ in their game 2 that they played there, and just really outscoring the other teams handily. And now in this one, though, the Sioux, now that I think that they've come out after that, after those bus legs, maybe it was after the first little bit of this game, but they really come out and they're putting on a show here for this homecoming game for the Cougars.
Okay, the Sioux going to kick it off, and they're going to try the onside kick. It looks like they got it, too. That ball went 10 yards, which it needs to, and looks like the kicker got it. And you can hear the applause from the Sioux. They're running onto the football field. They did get it.
Wow, just wow. Yeah, that was some great speed by the kicker there too, Gaston Matillo. We've seen him earlier in this game with some speed on some other plays, but I think he was playing defense at that point, making a tackle this time, able to wrap up that ball as he just kicks it off and then chased it down himself. Not often you see that.
No, and the front line of the Cougars, you could see them. They started to retreat as the kicker was approaching the ball, but really the rule of thumb is don't move off that line. Stay at 10 yards until that ball is kicked and in the air, just in case to protect against that onside kick. But a great job by the kicker. He was running full speed and able to chase it down after about 13, 14 yards and jump on it and give the Sioux possession again. So the Cougars, in response, they call a timeout here. The coaches, I think, want to kind of regroup this team mentally and at the same time give them a bit of a break from this heat and refocus here, trailing 21-14.
Yeah, just that low worm burner kick right along the ground just fooled him. As you mentioned, a lot of the guys, I think we did up here too, just expect to, after seeing a couple of those long kicks earlier, they're just going to kick it down the field. And it's such a routine play that sometimes if you have that mental lapse, then it just slips by you, and it did that time.
We're all set to resume here now after the Cougars timeout. 1st and 10 for the Sioux on the Cougars side of midfield. They're going to hand it off up the middle, and that's Pagnotta again. Oh, and one of the defenders was able to get a piece of that jersey and hold him up, or else, boy, he could have been gone for another long run.
Yeah, once again, just anything to take this guy down, because you're going to need to just get a hand on him, and even sometimes that's not enough. He's been spinning away from tackles and juking and just got that speed too, and this time, yeah, it was just a jersey that sort of slowed him up enough for help to come on the way.
It was Tanner Horlbeck that got a handful of that jersey and was able to hold him up until the rest of the defense could help corral Pagnotta. 2nd down, they're going to go to the air here, looking for a receiver down that far side, and good pass defense there from the Cougars, and then after that, being dragged down by the receiver. That could have been a flag on the receiver there easily. Looking from here.
Yeah, it looked like a little bit high there with the hands, but referee didn't see much there, and they're a little bit closer to the action than we are up here. But yeah, that certainly looked like there could have been a foul there.
Brings up 3rd down and 4. Now we got a flag. And they're marching this one back against the Sioux. And it's a procedure call against the Sioux. So big 3rd down here. 3rd and 9. Just inside the Cougars' 50-yard line. They're going to go to the air. Looks like Bretchen rolling out. Looking to run away from the defense. Cougars D looks to be in good position and force him right to the sideline. Finally dragged down there by Trevor Lawton. And it's going to be short of the 1st down. So the Cougars defense stiffens up. Big play there from the D. And the offense will get the ball back in good position.
Yeah, it shows you the confidence, though, doesn't it, from the other team there, the Sault Sabercats, just going for it on 3rd down, even after that play was pushed back by that offensive foul there. And so we'll have to see if the Cougars can respond here as well. But, yeah, it shows you the confidence from the Sioux, and also just the sort of, I don't know, trying to pull out all the stops. You never know what to expect with this team now, because some of these routine plays, you'd expect maybe a punt there. You expected a long kick earlier off the kickoff, but they're throwing some other stuff at you.
Cougars go shotgun here. One back in the backfield. They are going to hand it off to that one back, and it's going to be over that far side. Nice run there from Nakoma Scott. Big number 2 picks up about 16, 17 yards there on 1st down.
Yeah, good response after that turnover on downs, and then they're able to take it right into the Sioux territory there and over the half-yard line, and so we'll have to see if they can keep pushing it down here afterwards too. You know, as we mentioned earlier, a couple mistakes from the Cougars to put them down in this game so far.
5:22 and counting to go here in the 1st half. The Sioux lead 21-14. They go shotgun. They're going to hand it off to Nakoma Scott again. Testing the middle of that defense. Dragged down, but after a gain of about, looks to be about 6-7 yards. And now we've got an injured Cougar down on the field.
Yeah, reaching for his lower back too, it looked like. He looks like he'll be in some pain there too, so hope for the best. Already have one starter ejected earlier in this one, now another one down for injury, so gotta hope that he can come back from this.
That was Nicholas Plaquette that was helped off the football field. Boy, and you don't like to see him needing that much help. Had to actually be carried off there. So you hope for the best there for Plaquette. Big 61. Cougars second and long 3 here. They're going to hand it off. Nice patient running there from the Cougars. That's going to be close to the first down. Tyler Szymanski with the carry that time.
Just see what the spot on this one might be just short, though, I think.
Boy, oh boy, it's funny. When I looked down at the spot,
Well,
I thought it was enough, and there it is. Yeah, it is enough.
A couple times now they've had these close calls, and the refs giving it to them. But, yeah, that was a good run. Clutch play there as well. You want to take advantage of this while you're this far into the Sabercats territory there.
4:40 to go here in the first half. And now we've got another Cougar going to the sidelines.
Liam Wellman this time, 88's going off. At least he's going off under his own power, sort of jogging off there. But, yeah, heat exhaustion certainly going to play a factor, especially, as we mentioned, going into this first half here, about less than 4.5 minutes left in the game. But, yeah, definitely heat is taking a toll on the players out there.
Yeah, got to watch out for any kind of cramping, obviously. Stay well hydrated. 1st and 10 now for the Cougars offense. Moving the football well here into Sioux territory. And they're going to snap it to Torres, and it's a design quarterback keeper. He's got some blockers out front on that right side, and finally dragged down. Nice gain there on first down for Torres. So far on the other side of the field, just wait for the mark here. It looks like it's a pickup of about 6 or 7 yards.
Yeah, that's, again, the angles here fooling me a little bit because I thought that was a little bit shorter than that. I thought maybe 3 or 4, but picks up, yeah, 6 or 7. So pretty solid run there from him and some good blocks there, too.
High snap there for Torres. He's going to hand it off, and a nice run. Ducking it back inside is Nakoma Scott. He easily has enough for the first down to move the sticks.
And as time continues to wind down, too, and you really got to take advantage of some of these opportunities you have here as you're grinding out the clock. A lot of ball on the ground so far in this game, so that's going to keep that clock moving.
And again, you want to keep that ball in offense and play that fatigue into your favor in this heat. Wear down that Sioux defense. Torres going to take the snap and then hand it off. Nice stiff arm there from Nakoma Scott, still on his feet, pushing the pile. Boy, it looked like Nakoma Scott was potentially going to be dragged down in the backfield, but able to get that stiff arm out and escape that trouble.
That's got to be inches left to go here, and they'll have 3 chances to punch this one in.
They're going to say he's on about the 1 yard line. And the 3-minute warning whistle there. 1st and goal for the Cougars. Torres takes the snap, going to hand it off, and lots of room up the middle, in for the touchdown. Nakoma Scott making it look easy there.
Yeah, 3 straight plays. I mean, seriously, we haven't seen, I don't think, that from any running back in this game so far. Usually alternating back and forth. I was surprised to see him get 2 touches in a row, but you just got to roll with the guy who's got the hot hand right now, and that seems to be him.
So pending the extra point here, the Cougars can tie this one up. On to kick this one, Liam Wellman. Nice snap. And it's up and good. Nicely executed there, and we have ourselves a tie game, 21-all.
So good response there by the Cougars coming back after going down for the first time in this game and allowing, I think it was, 21 straight points, and then coming back and evening things up, going into just under 3 minutes left in this second quarter.
Boy, oh boy, and you know what hasn't helped is the number of stoppages that we've had with injuries. keeping everybody out there in this heat that much longer, unfortunately. That's one of the downsides. It's been a bit of a long first half, as maybe you could hear with the exasperation in the background.
And the breeze is coming through nicely now, but I think for quite a bit of that second quarter it had died down, and that's really a factor out there too. Just no relief there on the field for any of those players. No,
it's sweat upon sweat upon sweat, just layers, if you will.
I'm so red. I'm just sitting by the pool of the world. I'll be using SPF 60 tomorrow for sure. SPF 6000.
So after that score, the Cougars looking to kick this one off now to the Sabercats. Decent looking kick there. It's going to take a single hop in front of the return man. And looking to get outside and going backwards. Cougars coverage team getting there finally to take down, I believe that was Tristan O'Flynn.
Yeah, we've seen some magic from him earlier in this game, though, so good for them to just eliminate his opportunities, too. He was looking down the field a number of times trying to cut up the middle, but just forced to the outside there. And when you have to keep a guy running laterally like that or running backwards even, as he was a couple times there, you're just churning up some of that energy that he had stored away.
I'm not going to lie either. I preferred if they limited the number of touches that O'Flynn got, because every time I say his name, I can't help but think of a cold beverage. First and 10. It's a quarterback keeper. They're going to fake the handoff and finally drag down, but enough for the first down. Good hit there on defense by a couple of defenders, but nice pickup there from Bretchen to pick up about 11 yards and a first down.
And you mentioned slippery earlier. Again, they're just showing it that it's going to take a couple of guys to take him down, and might just have to reach and you just got to grab and hold on. That's it, and hope for help to arrive, because he's just slipping through him right now.
The Sioux still on their side of the 50-yard line. First and 10. Bretchen lined up in the shotgun. He is going to hand it off to Pagnotta. He starts left, then goes back right, and boy, oh boy, he's got some blockers out front of him. He's going to run away from the Cougars defense, and he is going to score. A 53-yard touchdown. Excuse me, that was a 63-yard touchdown run there from Pagnotta. And boy, oh boy, he continues to show you why he is so tough to bring down. Just so elusive once he gets that ball in his hands, and does a beautiful job setting up his blocks, and then his speed takes care of the rest.
Yeah, low to the ground and just tough to take down. You mentioned just that speed, too. And he puts his head down and just charges through, spins around, and he's got a whole bag of tricks, and he's pulling them out today.
Looking to add the extra point here for the Sioux. Bit of a low snap, but time to recover, and good job by the holder to pin that up. And just like that, the Sioux back out to a one-score lead.
And quickly, too, we were looking at about just under 3 minutes by the time the Cougars scored their last touchdown to even things up. And then not even a minute later, these Sioux Sabercats come back down the field, march down there, and with a big play like that from Pagnotta, it doesn't take a whole lot of time off the clock.
And it is has been confirmed by our statistician up here, Clarkey, operating the scoreboard and the score sheet. He has confirmed it is 4 touchdowns now for Pagnotta. Has all 4 scores for the Sioux. That's the the Al Bundy touchdown count. 4 touchdowns in one game. I don't know if Al Bundy had 4 touchdowns in one half, though.
Yeah, that's another thing, right? You're right about that. Just unbelievable. Yeah, he's just been putting on a show here today, that's for sure.
Pagnotta just unreal here today. Sioux going to kick it off and hits one of the up men, who's going to scoop it now and keep finally brought down. And
Another one of those tough, tricky kicks. So, you got the wind at your back. You think you may just toss it up in the air, kick it down the field, but a deflection off of one of those guys that wasn't necessarily expecting to touch the ball, I think. And then as soon as it hit his hands, too, went behind him, looked behind to see if he was going to get help from somebody else grabbing it instead. And at that point, you're just scrambling and trying to get on that ball. So good on him to corral that and able to turn it upfield a little bit, but at the same time, deep in their own territory here.
So with 1:51 to go here in this first half, Cougars have the football just over the 30-yard line, their side of midfield. Torres goes shotgun and in motion. They're going to air it out down that right side. And, oh, what a great catch. Beautiful, beautiful grab. Believe that was Ethan Jordan with the snag.
Well, we haven't seen much airtime in this one so far, but I think this one will be potentially is pass interference. I'm guessing that's where the flag was. So, and it is going to be against the defense, so they'll probably wave that one off and just go with the yardage. But again, we've seen some not too much air time in this game so far, not too many passing plays, and a little bit surprised to see that because this quarterback here for the Cougars just is so good. We mentioned before the broadcast that don't think you've seen him miss a pass here on home field. So he missed one earlier in this game, and the run game has been working for them. But I expect to see a little bit more of them airing it out in the rest of this game here.
Great job by Ethan Jordan to go up, fight for that football, and make the catch for a big play for the Cougars. And that really, big plays like that, as a player, can really give you that extra boost, and provide that extra momentum, if you will, when you get those big plays. And that was certainly one there from Torres to Jordan with 1:34 to go here in the first half, and the Sioux leading 28-21.
And with that defensive penalty there too, even, he had to fight a guy off in order to make that catch. So that was just incredible, right down the sideline, and just a great grab.
We're all set here now. The Cougars 1st and 10. Going to pitch it outside to Nakoma Scott. Nice bit of running there. Nakoma Scott with a pickup of about 7 yards, it looks like. 6 or 7 yards.
Solid though on that first down. You just want to get some chunk yardage there to give you some options on second down. I mean, you have had some success now throwing the ball down the field, and so you can stretch the defense a little bit through that too.
Call it 2nd and 4 here. Ball on the Sioux 40-yard line. Tries to go shotgun, going to drop back to pass. He's got a receiver out here to the far side. Some nice blocking out front of him as well. And now we've got a flag. Good pass and catch there to Schaefer. We're going to have to wait and see, though, for the flags in the area where the blockers were lined up for the Cougars. This one might be going against Chatham-Kent.
I was just going to say that, too. It looked like potentially was going to go against the Cougars just based on where that flag was thrown.
Oh, no.
They're actually,
They're marching this one against the Sioux.
Yeah, so a bit of a surprise there, but at the same time, good surprise for the Cougars as they dodged a bullet there, potentially a face mask penalty we're hearing. So that makes sense to where that contact was with that blocker. You mentioned good block, and then probably one of those Sioux defenders just grabbed him by the face mask.
First and 10 for the Cougars. 1:12 to play in the first half there. They're going to pitch it out to Nakoma Scott, who's got a hole there, hitting it with a good head of steam. Finally tackled, but a nice gain on first down. Picks up what looks to be about 8 or 9 yards. Looks like the Cougars are about just about the 5-yard line, pretty close to it.
And with ball position too, lots of room on this side here.
Now we're just under 1 minute to go in the first half. They're going to hand it off to Nakoma Scott, looking to weave his way into the end zone, reaching. He's got enough for the first down, but short of the end zone.
Short of the end zone, that run is good enough for a first down.
So that's going to bring up a 1st and goal for the Cougars. Look to be about the Sioux 1 yard line.
So both teams on offense answering back, answering each other after Cougars take an early lead in this one, and then the Sioux come back and take the lead and twice, and then the Cougars look to answer here again.
Yeah, great tug of war so far in this first half. Torres going to hand it off. And into the end zone for the Cougars. Looks like that was Tyler Shumansky with the score coming across the front of Torres. Took the handoff, and Shumansky gets into the end zone. The Cougars respond with a score, now back within 1.
And that's twice now the Cougars have targeted that area right beside the uprights there. You know, it's almost like a permanent blocker that you have that you can take some chances around there and move around and make the defense sort of have to juke around it to take you down.
Cougars lined up. Nice snap there for the extra point. And it's up and good by Liam Wellman. And we have ourselves a tie football game again with 39.2 seconds to go here in the first half.
39.2 seconds left before half.
So we'll have to remember that after that last touchdown, though, that the Sioux scored was less than a minute. It took them less than a minute to march it all the way down the field. I think a 65-yard run for number 20, Nick Pagnotta there. So he'll be the one to watch in this one, the game breaker. With 39 seconds left, that could be a huge play for Sioux if they hand him the ball and he does anything special here.
Yeah, you certainly want to limit Pagnotta's ability to create space. He is just so dangerous. Just a fantastic runner and just so tough to corral. Cougars have it teed up now, ready to kick it off to the Sioux. Nice deep kick there, line drive. Caught cleanly and dragged down. We have a flag right in the area of the tackle. And we have a Cougar, looked like he was shaken up and back on his feet, but limping now. Is in the area where the flag was as well. Looks like that's Jarvis Dudley for the Cougars that's down.
Yeah, he's taking his helmet off now too. He's struggling on the field there too.
He initially tried to walk it off, but just in too much discomfort. Nice to see Jarvis Dudley jog off the field under his own power. 33 seconds to go here in the first half. Sioux with the football inside their own 30-yard line. They'll go shotgun. They're going to hand it off inside. Oh, and I think we're going to have a face mask here against the Cougars. Hand off to Pagnotta. They had him corralled, but looked like there was a face mask, and the flags came flying.
Yeah, I think temper's starting to heat up a little bit here along with the heat exhaustion as these two teams just grinding each other down going into the half, and everybody can see that 26 seconds left, and they just want defense. If you're the Cougars, just want to get off the field without allowing another couple points here.
That's right. And Pagnotta, he's just so slippery on that face mask. You know, you reach out, you're not trying to grab the face mask, but he's so elusive. You're obviously not grabbing it. Next thing you know, he's making a move and your hand's right on it. So makes it very, very tough as a defender.
And just his size down there too.
Now.
His size down there too is, you know, he's not quite as tall as some of the other players.
They're going to hand it off. Looks like they kept it in the middle there to Pagnotta. Looks like he's going to be close to the first down marker there.
I think he's got
close.
I think he's got it. They're going to give it to him.
19.6 seconds to go here. And they're going to signal first down. They're going to go deep. And it's picked off by the Cougars. Great interception. Got to get a number.
Yeah, it looked like it was 21 Quentin Emmerich who came down with the ball there, and you could hear somebody yell right before that play was snapped that they're going to go deep on this play. So, yeah, there was somebody who knew what was going on, and that nice heads-up play, though, by Quentin Emmerich just to hold on to it, too, not to give it up that deep in their own territory there.
Well, great hands there from Emmerich, too. Goes up, skies up for that football. Great catch. And again, gets the ball back to the Cougars. Just 5.9 seconds left here in this first half, but the defense does its job. Stops the Sioux from adding any points on the board before the half, and right now tied at 28s. And we'll see, maybe a little bit of trickery here from the Cougars. We'll see what the coaching staff decides they want to do here before the half. On that ball, pass attempt falls incomplete from Evan Torres, and that is the first half wrapped up. Very entertaining first half here at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex. These two squads tied at 28s, headed to the second half.
And a lot of scoring and great storyline in this one. I mean, from the beginning, it looked like the Cougars were really dominant. Came out 14-0 lead, 2 scores on their first 2 offensive plays. From that, though, the Sioux came back to their credit and managed to take the lead at 21-14 and then take the lead again 28-21 before the Cougars bounced back for both of those and were able to equalize it. So, yeah, we've got a great second half lined up after this. And as the temperature cools down a little bit, too, as the sun sets a little bit further, I think you'll see some of these players just suffering from a little less heat exhaustion, especially after this little break they've got here after the second half, or second quarter, rather, as we go into the second half.
All right, there you have it, 28-28 at the half with the magic of TV. We'll be back after the break with second half action. You're watching Chatham-Kent Cougars football junior varsity action on your TV. Welcome back to Chatham-Kent Cougars second half football action about to get underway. The Cougars kicking off to the Sault Sabercats. So you're going to return it off that far side. Good return. And the Sioux going to take over right about their own 50-yard line. And setting up to be an exciting second half, Matt, tied 28-28.
Yeah, sun's a little bit lower now, and it feels like things are cooling off just a little bit. Still really muggy out there, but players have had some time to rest up too, so see if they can hit the refresh button here, and pretty much all square after the first half there, so it's anybody's game at this point.
First and 10 for Sioux. Tyler Bretchen in shotgun. Bretchen going to hand it off to Pagnotta. Up the middle, still on his feet. Just so tough to bring down. Nick Pagnotta was the story of the first half, and right off the bat in the second half makes his presence felt.
And that's the thing, too, when you keep handing it to the same guy and he just keeps doing the same thing. It's so frustrating because you know the game plan going into the second half was stop number 20. That's all we got to do, guys, is stop number 20. He's got all their rushing touchdowns, all their touchdowns so far. If we stop number 20, we can hold him. But still, just so talented out there.
Yeah, fake the handoff. Bretchen's going to keep it this time, and good job by the defense. A short gain of about 2 yards.
Trevor Lawton, though, wrapped him up right, and we've seen him slip a couple tackles like that earlier in the first half, and this time just able to wrap him up and take him down.
2nd and 8 here for Sioux. Cougars territory. They're going to hand it off. Oh, beautiful spin move by Pagnotta, and then a stiff arm, and he's going to take it to the house. Wow. I got to tell you, I think there's a reason he wears number 20, because boy, oh boy, does he ever run like Barry Sanders. Holy smokes. They had him dead to rights in the hole, couple hands on him, then a 6 spin move, and before you know it, he's in the end zone. Boy, oh boy, what a run from number 20.
Unbelievable, this guy. Like, you can just keep handing it back to him, and it doesn't even matter. Like, he just keeps doing it. It's just the amount of talent there, too. Yeah, we had 3 guys that were draped all over him there right at the line of scrimmage, and he did that spin move and just took them all out, and he just wipes them right off.
And, you know, those are skills that, to be honest with you, you can't really teach. It's just instinct, you know. It just comes naturally, and boy, oh boy, is he ever a natural talent.
They really only need to run 2 plays so far. If this keeps up, you could do the handoff to number 20 and then the fake handoff and the quarterback draw. I mean, that's all they've been doing so far to finding success. They've scored, 5 touchdowns now by doing that.
Yeah, 5 touchdowns now in this football game for Pagnotta. All 5 of the scores for the Sault Sabercats, giving them the lead here early in the second half.
Shrink said now we have the Al Bundy special. We got the vibes now. This is more special, right?
Good snap and hold there for the Sioux, and they had the extra point. Now go up 35-28. Boy, as much as the Cougars would love to stop number 20, it's easier said than done.
Yeah, just as much the other way, though. The Cougars have a couple of guys, too, who didn't run the ball really well. You know, Szymanski and Nakoma Scott, those 2 guys, number 2 and number 8, we got to expect to see them get the ball again as the Cougars try to march back in this one, and they have so far, answering back after taking that early lead and sort of battling back. We thought it was going to be maybe after those first 2 touchdowns, a bit of a different storyline so far. But, yeah, this Sioux team is really showing something today.
Just give it to me.
Now the Cougars have to be wary here on the kickoff from the Sioux. They've already successfully recovered 1 onside kick. And that's going to be an offside. We had a flag come out right away. That kickoff bobbled by Nakoma Scott. He's looking to come across this far side of the football field. Nice cut back up the middle and finally tripped up. But again, we had the flag on the kickoff. The Sioux was clearly offside. And now the Sioux have a player down on the field in the area where that tackle was made.
I'm not sure I've seen this many players go down in one game before, and I think it is heat-related, just the amount of extra stress that's going on these bodies out here.
So that flag on the kickoff offside on the Sioux. And Cougars going to make them re-kick it, and why not? Nakoma Scott kind of bobbled the return before he was able to pick up some yards. And a little directional kick this time. 1 hopper, and then picked up cleanly by the Cougars. Ooh, good coverage there from the Sioux. And that's where the Cougars are going to take over about their own 32-yard line.
You mentioned directional kick that time, keeping it away from Nakoma Scott, and that time it was like 25 Bobby Bloomfield who picked it up, and he went straight to the sideline almost right away. And, yeah, if he was going to pick up any sort of big gain, he would have to turn upfield, but He was going right to the sideline almost immediately as soon as he grabbed it.
And the lights have come on here at the field behind CKSS. Fantastic treat always to play under the lights. 1st and 10. The Cougars going to hand it off up the middle. Good defense there from the Sioux. That was Szymanski with the carry, just short yardage there on 1st down.
Yeah, I'm surprised he got hit right away. I'm surprised he still picked up a couple yards on that play. So good for him to keep pushing it on and at least have a short gain.
Brings up a 2nd and 8. As the sun sets in the distance, making it a little bit easier here to catch the action. They're going to pitch, try that sweep on the outside, but great defense from the Sioux. Pushing the Cougars backwards, and 2 straight plays, that defense flexes its muscle, and the Cougars going to be forced to kick this one away. It should be an easy decision here, deep in their own territory.
Well, you knew after the first half when both teams scored 28 points, there's going to have to be some defensive adjustments, and it really looks like so far the Sioux have been the team that have made those adjustments, wrapping up those Cougars running backs very quickly. Short gain on the 1st down, and then for a loss on that 2nd.
He's coming. She's down there, so he's coming up now. Here he comes. He's walking up now.
Cougars are lined up to punt this one. Sioux return men in around the 45-yard line, their own 45. Ooh, a high kick. Looks like the way that trajectory went off the side of the foot of the kicker.
Sorry, it took too long. We redrew it. I won.
Fantastic starting position here for the Sioux inside the Cougars' 40-yard line after that short punt. They're going to hand it off to the running back coming across the formation. Oh, and he's tripped up on his own there.
Yeah, O'Flynn, we've seen him earlier, and you mentioned they want to keep the ball away from number 26 there. Well, number 20's been hurting him more, but 26 has had some nice runs earlier. This time just really lost his balance, lost his focus there, and got tripped up over his own 2 feet.
Yeah, the turf monster got him that time. 2nd and long now, 2nd and 12. And they're going to hand it off to Pagnotti. He's going to try that right side. And, oh, beautiful spin move. Looking to juke his way, but can't do it that time. Too many defenders there to escape, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down here. And I can't imagine a scenario where the Sioux isn't going for it, given their position. Now we've got another Cougar taking a knee, and as you mentioned, Matt, we have had a number of injuries in this game, and you've got to think the heat is playing a part in that.
That's the one main difference from this game to any other one I've seen, is that this is easily the hottest game I've ever been to, and the sun is just setting down behind the trees back there, but at the same time the humidity is not being sucked out of the air, and that's playing a factor for sure too. Just overheating, and we mentioned earlier, but all that equipment they're wearing on there too, I mean, that just adds another whole level to it.
That's the Cougars' Dylan Butler walking to the sideline gingerly. As the Sioux go for it here on 3rd and long, 3rd and about 6. They're going to hand it off to Pagnotta, and of course, why not? He's been so successful, but great job by that Cougars defense. He's going to be short, and the offense going to get to come back out on the football field for Chatham-Kent.
Yeah, and a 1-score game, too. That's huge. Just the field position and everything, too, just to knock them down right before that 1st down yard line there that they needed to get to, and to stop Pagnotta finally. I mean, it's maybe a small thing just to get turned over on downs there, but at the same time, just being able to stop the number 20, build that confidence for the defense, too. Have another good stop deep in your own zone there.
Now the Cougars certainly have to do their part on offense and take advantage of this position now after the defense does its part to stop the Sioux from adding to that score. Again, the Sioux lead 35-28. 3rd quarter action here, 7:45 and counting to go. And they're going to hand it off. Nice run over that left side, still on his feet. Nakoma Scott, and then a spin move at the end, and he's going to be close to 10 yards on that carry.
Yeah, looks like you give it to him. Yeah, so they will give it to him. Number 2 there, Nakoma Scott, and the Cougars answering back with a quick first down.
Nice run by number 2. First and 10 now for the Cougars. Shotgun formation, gonna pitch it out. Got some blockers out front as well, but still on his feet, fighting for extra yards. Good job there from Bennett Schaefer on the reception, then picking up a couple more after contact.
Yeah, showed some good strength there too. Turned upfield, and I thought he might be able to get it with those extra blocks that he had in there as they threw it underneath, and he was able to turn it up the field, but able to charge. Yeah, even those extra couple of yards, you never know. This next down, if they just get it over the line, then that extra couple yards he fought for there, the extra yard and a half or a yard, that just makes all the difference.
And it feels like the temperature has dropped just slightly here now that the sun has finally set. High snap there for Torres. They're going to go down the left side. He got a wide open man for the catch, and still on his feet. Beautiful move. Great job there on the catch, Bobby Bloomfield. And another big play through the air on that pass from Evan Torres.
Unbelievable. Just the focus he showed after the catch there to keep that going and to stay in bounds and to pick up those extra couple yards again, going down deep in there, and he was wide open down the field.
Well, that play was actually set up by the play before. It was the exact same route when they threw it to Bennett Schaefer on the side, but they threw it short. That time, they ran a man deep underneath, and it paid off. This time, first and 10, the Cougars going to run it up the middle. Nice gain on first down for Nakoma Scott.
Yeah, just over halfway there to another first down, and keep charging the play and keep moving the chains and moving in deep. They're really opening things up with that pass game now, though.
Picked up about 7 yards there on first down. Torres going shotgun again. He's looking to his right to throw that ball. Got a receiver out there. It's Ethan Jordan. Oh, and he fumbles the football. The football's loose on the ground, and it looks like the Sioux have it. Good job by the Sioux defense stripping Ethan Jordan of that football and then able to recover it just as the Cougars were driving, putting an end to that offensive drive from Chatham-Kent, and the Sioux get the ball back.
Yeah, tough break for the Cougars there as Ethan Jordan, who was just showing some incredible hands early in this game, hauling that pass in, a deep pass down the sidelines. This time just fell victim to a nice defensive play by the Sioux there, knocking the ball out of his hands.
Sioux takes over first and 10 from their own 27-yard line. And they're going to fake the handoff. It's quarterback keeper. Bretchen with the run. So tough, as you mentioned, Matt. You've got Pagnotta, who's an unbelievable talent. If you don't give him the ball, but you fake the handoff to him as a defender, you're frozen because you have to play for that skill set that Pagnotta has, and then you're stuck in a tough position should the quarterback, in this case Bretchen, keep it.
And you've seen that so many times here too. The defender who's coming in there is just biting on the fake and trying to take down number 20 because, if you don't get a hand on him right away, he's just going to burn right past you. So, yeah, you mentioned it's just such a difficult play to read there.
And now we've got a timeout on the football field. Back from the timeout now. 2nd and 6 for the Sioux. Their own 31-yard line. Way offside. That might be one of the biggest offsides I've ever seen, actually.
It's one of those just a bit offside.
That was a good, I don't know, maybe first down offside, maybe 10 yards. That was pretty close. When you look around and all you see is the opposing team's colors, you're not in a good place.
Picked the wrong neighborhood, buddy.
Yeah, so a good break there for the Cougars, though, as that'll push them back to 2nd down.
That's right, 2nd and over 10 yards. Good pressure. They set up the screen pass, and that's beautifully set up to Pagnotta. And boy, oh boy, down that sideline. Just uses that speed that time. No moves there needed. Finally forced out of bounds on that far side, but easily getting first down yardage.
Looked like a little Nick Walenda Pagnotta out there dancing on the sideline, going down that tightrope as he was just staying in bounds for those extra yards.
First and 10 here for the Sioux. Oh, and it's a fake handoff. Boy, oh boy, and Bretchen is still on his feet, finally dragged down. Wow. Gain of about 15 yards there. And this Sioux offense is really starting to move the football.
Yeah, and doing it with that fake handoff, and then the quarterback just able to keep it, charge it up the field again. We saw them take him down early a couple times, but now just struggling again to take down that quarterback as he decides to keep the ball.
First and 10 at the Cougars' 41-yard line. Bretchen going to hand it off. Pagnotta again. They got a piece of the jersey, and now we've got a late flag come in. Not sure what the flag was there.
Well, the refs talked this over. Take a chance to thank a couple more of our sponsors here. We got 8 Count Cheer Academy, Embroidery and Things, and the Movie Den. That's out in Thamesville.
Wow, they call that a horse collar, but there was no way from up here that looked like a horse collar at all. Nonetheless, it's marked off, and the Sioux are into the end zone. A fantastic run from the Sabercats, and Bretchlin into the end zone. The first time a Sioux player not named Pagnotta in for the score.
And just really extending this to a 2-score lead now, too, with 3 minutes left in the second quarter here. But the Cougars, we mentioned, had to make some adjustments after the first half, and just players out there just haven't been able to answer.
Good snap there on the extra point. Nice hold, and the kick is up and through. Well executed. And the Sioux on that score go up by 2 touchdowns now. And now lead this one 42-28. 3:06 to go in the third quarter. The Cougars trailing this one, and really going to need something from their offense on this drive.
Well, body language, you're just looking out at some of those players out there just not really hustling up to their positions, and everybody's tired. I mean, the heat is really taking its toll on you, and late in this game especially. I mean, it's that early energy you lost earlier in the game that's really going to start taking its toll later on, even though the sun's down and that's not beating on you as much. Humidity's still making you feel hot, and you're still just exhausted from that first half. So if that was all tied up, and now it seems like the Sioux were the ones who still a little bit left in the tank.
Sioux going to kick this one off. Just a little onside directional kick this time again. And now the Sioux able to pick it up. And now getting the football. Beautiful directional kick there from the Sioux. And they are 2 for 2 on kickoff trickery. Fantastically done. Well executed. This Sioux team obviously very well coached, and a great job recovering that kick.
As much as the Cougars 4-0 going into this game, the Sioux riding a 3-game win streak as well. So, I mean, they've got something going right for them, and obviously a couple of tools in their offense that they're able to go back to time and time again. And this trickery off those kickoffs too, I mean, yeah, they're executing it well, as much as the Cougars seem to be a little bit taken aback and taken off guard by it.
Looks like that's Pagnotta with the carry.
You don't even need to see the number on the back of his jersey anymore. You see a player like that with moves like that out there, unbelievable.
Yeah, it's 9-yard run on first down, and he just makes it look easy.
And just the way he's using that free hand, too, to knock down those guys who are trying to tackle him. Like he's holding the ball in the one hand. The other hand's coming down and just chopping away those arms that are reaching out at him.
Oh, good play there on defense from the Cougars. Nice stop on D. Big Dante Hanzor, 77, swallowing up the quarterback for the Sioux. However, it was enough for the first down. Oh, fumble. Oh, able to scoop it back up. Are you kidding me? Pagnotta is still on his feet. Unreal. I mean, you really think that you've got him corralled, and we've said it a couple times, but then he drops the football. He's able to scoop it back up when you've got him surrounded, and he still finds a way out. He's got some Houdini in him. There's no doubt about that.
Just one of those game breaker type players who, yeah, no matter what you do, it's just his night. You know, there's not a whole lot that's going to stop him tonight, I don't think.
So that was enough for a first down, and we got a block in the back there. This play is going to come back on that flag. However, Pagnotta is going to thrill us a little bit more on a play that doesn't count.
Yeah, it's just unreal. That guy just touches the ball and just makes something special happen every single time. That time again, even though it was a penalty that's going to be called against the Sioux, the way he still played that one out, and just, I mean, at that point, it's just almost like bragging, you know, like just going through the defense like that.
They're going to call that one holding against the Sioux. So that makes it a 1st and 20 now. And Brechen's going to keep it this time, and boy, oh boy, he's got a lot of room in that defensive secondary. Wow. Just short of the end zone. But that's going to be enough for a first down and a fresh set of downs, and now the Sioux making it look easy.
The Cougars really going to need to pull something special out here if they're going to stop number 20 and the quarterback there as well. Number 13 for the Sioux.
First and goal.
Both those guys just been taking it to him.
Yeah, 1st and goal now for the Sioux here. And Brechen's going to keep it and take it into the end zone. And that's how the third quarter will end, with a Sioux score.
So all rushing out of this Sioux team, but just taking it to him and threading the needle, just going through him every time. And those, yeah, you mentioned the danger of that. Those two-headed monster, really, you know, with the quarterback keepers and the fake handoffs, and then just handing off to number 20 as well.
Good snap on the extra point. It's up and good. And now the Sioux extend their lead to 3 touchdowns and make it a 49-28 game. As the Sioux Sabercats make that long trip down to Chatham. And early on, it certainly didn't look good for them, but ever since they fell down 14-0, they trailed the Cougars, they have just turned it on, and it has been the Pagnotta show, the Nick Pagnotta show. I mean, number 20 has been phenomenal. 5 touchdowns in this football game, and he's just looked unstoppable.
unreal, and just for them to keep pouring it on too. You know, 3 touchdowns in the third quarter there just to pull away in this one, when and the turnovers too, right? You got to think back to that. I mean, the drop by Ethan Jordan when he dropped it back there down deep in the Sioux territory, that could have been a tie. That was potentially going to be a tying drive there, but then to turn that around and come back and score off of that too, it's pretty big out of the Sioux.
To start the fourth quarter here, the Sioux going to kick it off to the Cougars after that big third quarter where they put 3 touchdowns on the board. The Sioux going to kick this one deep. Clean catch for the Cougars. And a nice return from, looks like that's Nakoma Scott. Oh, no, excuse me. It's going to be number 8, Tyler Szymanski. Beautiful return from Szymanski. And Szymanski gets the ball over midfield. Beautiful return. Maybe give the Cougars a little bit of a boost here. They need something, that's for sure. And a play like that can maybe give you a little bit of energy that you might need to give you that hope that, hey, maybe we can do this.
Yeah, and why not start there too? I mean, the Sabercats just scored 3 touchdowns in 1 quarter, so if the Cougars are going to do that to at least here to match them, they're going to have to start something here.
Torres going to take it from the shotgun. They're going to put it in the air. Oh, and it's picked off. Had a receiver down the middle, but nice play by the defender to cut in front of it. And finally returned down to the Cougars side of the 40. And that's going to be a tough one there after that big return from the Cougars on the kickoff. That's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, they had to have something and had to do it quickly. So I think that lead really forced a play like that. And so far we have seen some good throws, but that one just a little bit off and trying to force a little bit too much.
Anyone still feeling hungry? I'm being told pizza is being sold $1 a slice.
And the Sioux has called a timeout here, it looks like. After that timeout, Sioux takes over at the Cougars' 37-yard line. Going to try to run that one up the middle, but no room there. Good job by the Cougars D. Looks like that was Pagnotta that time at the carry.
We're guessing now, right? So better turn them out.
Second 8. Everyone goes in motion. They're going to put this one in the air, and they're going to go deep down that right side. Oh, a receiver and a defender there, and it falls incomplete. Good job by the defender. Now we've got somebody down on that far side again where that pass was incomplete.
My schedule's pretty clear since I only have one knee. It's not going to do anything. I sit at the house with ice on my knee, get up.
Third down here for the Sioux. This could be a big one for the Cougars. Oh, a receiver right over the middle available. Nice clean catch, but still short of the first down looks like. But, oh, does a great job cutting it back up inside. And we've got 2 players down now. 3 players down, apologies. 3 down.
2 green, 1 yellow.
And again, we can't stress enough how hot it has been tonight. And it just takes a toll on the body. Looks like we've got all the players that were down taken care of. First and 10 now for the Sioux. Just over the 20-yard line. They're going to hand it off up the middle. Nothing doing there. Good defense from the Cougars.
And that's more what I expected to see rather than that passing play they had recently. expecting to pound it out on the ground, just wear the clock down. And they've already worn the defense down, as we've seen so many times now. How many players have come in here? They're probably on second or third string guys in some of these positions out there just because of the heat exhaustion.
Pagnotta is the deep man behind the quarterback, Bretchen. He's going to go outside. They're going to pitch it to him. They had a defender right there. Oh, and his knee was down, they're going to say.
Well, if you can't take him down, just knock his knee down. That's all you got to do, because that guy is slippery out there today.
I think that's the first time we've seen a single defender get Pagnotta down. Again, the Sioux have a 3-score lead here, 8:42 and counting to play in this fourth quarter. And they're going to fake the handoff to Pagnotta, and Bretchen's going to keep it, and he's got plenty of room down that left side, still on his feet. Unbelievable. Oh, and dragged out of bounds, but third and extremely long. They had him wrapped up short of the first down easily. But boy, oh boy, Bretchen does a great job escaping. And boy, if it isn't Pagnotta, it's Bretchen, and they are a tough tandem.
Just an unsolvable 1-2 punch so far in this game. And with time winding down too, the clock will continue to go down with these run plays that they're running out there. So just eating away at them little bit by bit.
1st and 10 now for the Sioux, deep in Cougar territory. Bretchen's going to keep it, looking for a hole up the middle. The defense collapses it, and it's going to be short of the end zone.
Second down and goal from both the one of the Cougars.
I'm trying to see that number. He's standing there with his hand on the goalpost. Is that number 70?
Well, last time we did this, it was Kurt.
Quarterback keep on the other end, yeah. He yelled at the side.
Bretchen taking the snap. He's going to fake it to Pagnotta and take it into the end zone. And the Sioux make it look easy there. They were faced with a 3rd and long, but able to convert and then eventually get it into the end zone and extend their lead.
Yeah, he's giving his running back a run for his money now to try to even things up. I don't know if they got some sort of competition going here, but those two are just factoring in on all these touchdowns.
Bretchen, I believe, has 3 touchdowns now, and Pagnotta 5.
Keep the numbers going and tell him I want between 477 and 486.
The point after is good. Now the Sioux extends their lead to 4 scores. 56-28 now is the Sioux's lead. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Because at half it was a 28-28 game, but the Sioux have just run away with it here in the second half.
Yeah, just shut them down, and I think really what it comes down to, as much as the offense have been so good for the Sioux, their defense made a number of adjustments to shut down the Cougars in this second half, and that's what's made the difference here. Is they're just not putting up any points, and they're not as explosive as they were in the first half. I don't know if part of that's exhaustion on behalf of the Cougars offense, but they're just not able to find those connections that they were in the first that pulled them even with this Sioux team.
Get the ball back on the outside.
Cougars return man able to pick it up cleanly off the one hop. Tyler Szymanski with the return up to the 40-yard line. Cougars now take over after that injury timeout. Looks like that's Szymanski with the run this time. Nice job there. Good carry. Pickup of about 23 yards. Big number 8 weaving his way through that Sioux defense.
Yeah, that was Nakoma Scott.
Oh, apologies.
Yeah.
I thought it was an 8 there. And you know what I find? It's funny. I find that their running styles are somewhat similar.
Yeah.
As I defend myself. But, yeah, that was Nakoma Scott.
Well, both those guys have been sharing the ball pretty equally tonight, too. And as you mentioned, both those guys, just be able to weave their way through. And so unlike the Sioux, who really just have either the quarterback keeps their hands off to number 20. We've seen 26, so Flynn get it a couple times. But those two guys for the Cougars have been sharing the ball quite a bit tonight.
That time with the carry, it was Szymanski.
Ryan Barnes on the stop. Second down and 7.
Yeah, Cougars' time is not on their side right now. They're going to really have to pull something out if they're going to pull even in this, and that you got to think it's going to be tough sledding here.
Good, strong run there by Nakoma Scott.
That's where the stage of my life I'm at.
I hear you, brother.
Pushes his way to the Sioux 37-yard line. First down.
Probably between 9 and 10 because I keep it 5 every day.
Yeah, they give me these wonderful meds. I fall asleep within 5 minutes.
What are they? Can I get some?
It's an oxy.
Oh, I can't take those. I'm allergic to them. I wouldn't say that too loud. You get visitors during the night. That's weird.
First and 10, and a very, very nice run from Szymanski over that left side. Continuing to weave his way through that defense. And a little bit surprising, really, that they're keeping the ball on the ground, given the time and any chance of a comeback. But 56-28 is a long shot. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, it could be too. Just there were a couple of the last time we saw them play with desperation with that throw, it was a interception deep in their territory too. So the run has been working for them, and they're getting big chunks off of it. So maybe just keep that rolling for now.
Brings up a fresh set of downs here. Cougars are on the 30-yard line of the Sioux. And nice run over that right side and into the end zone. That was Nakoma Scott. And gives the Cougars their first score of this second half.
Yeah, fake the handoff to Szymanski, then go over to Scott. I mean, I'm not sure if we've seen that play yet so far this game, but just both those guys equal share with the ball back there, so equal threats back there too. So nice play, and you could tell the defense was fooled. There was all kinds of room for him out there.
Cougars going to line up for the extra point here. And that kick is up and good by Liam Wallman.
I'm gonna go get it now. I'll go down and get it. I thought we had a touch. Oh, we do have a touchdown. Oh, can you make that?
So after the kickoff, after the score, the Cougars going to kick this one off. That one's headed for the sidelines, and it is going to go out of bounds. So that's going to bring out the flag. 4:18 to play here in this football game at the Chatham-Kent Community Athletic Complex behind CKSS. We're watching junior varsity football action. The Sault Sabercats coming all the way down to Chatham for this football game, and amazingly enough, they're going right back after this game. So came down this morning, and then they go right back up after this football game. That is a long, long trip.
At least so far in this game, barring, I mean, there would be it'd be a tough ride back if they blow this one now. But so far in this game, yeah, just really making the trip worth it out here at least.
Yeah, that's right. That is good motivation, isn't it? You don't want to spend that amount of time on the bus feeling downtrodden because of a loss.
I can't remember where we were So we were good and ready to. Yes, they were. That's why we didn't want to leave. Driver's like, I'm going to pass my time. Like, that's not my problem. We were booked to go and have dinner when we're done.
Well, it looks like Pagnotta is finally off the football field, if I'm not mistaken. That's going to be a quarterback keeper. But, boy, we've been calling junior varsity games for over 10 years, and I think Pagnotta is probably about as talented a player as I've seen at this level in that time. He is just phenomenal.
Just unbelievable. The instincts he has, the moves he's got in his bag of tricks, too. Just pulling out the spin moves, the jukes, the stiff arms, and, yeah, just his vision on the field and everything, too. And explosive speed, too, right away. Like, you don't touch him right away, he's gone.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not just the moves, is it? It's and the instincts. Those are all phenomenal. But then you add on top of that, as soon as he makes you miss, he's fast enough to run away from you. It's so tough. But at the same time, you have to look in amazement and really respect his ability.
Well, the number of times in this game that we've seen 3 defenders in a position to make that tackle, but him just spinning right through them all. That's something mental there too. Yeah, he makes that decision that he's going to make that spin move or whatever in that split second.
That was way offside there for the Sioux. Easy flag call for the officials.
If there's no games tomorrow, it won't be that warm inside my pool tomorrow. I can guarantee you that.
I will see you guys.
Steve Ringer.
Are there any games next week?
Two,
Yeah, 2.
3,
I will see you next
We
week.
got 2 here.
2 here, yeah. And
2
then
here
one
on
the following
Sunday.
week.
See you call back to Sioux up 5 yards.
See you Wednesday then. Or next week.
There aren't 2. There's like. Keep in touch, eh? It was only 1.5 less versus. Okay, but is that all of it? Is that all of it then? I think so, yeah.
Sioux are going to hand it off here, keep it on the ground. And boy, picking up yards there. Tyler Greco sharing the ball now with this big lead are the Sabercats. Good defense there from the Cougars.
Yeah, I met him before when we were playing travel. When we were Manny, he gave me a big hug. Can you hook me up with some pork? Yep.
That last play, a substitution for the Sioux, and it was Big 68 that was going off the field, Dylan Monaco. If you were wondering, he's only 6'1", 310.
Only. Yeah, wrapping him up out there.
I remember seeing it in the paper, and I said to Sal, because I said, gee, I really sort of with mom and all that. And,
This one really grinding down here now with just over 2 minutes left as the defense is coming up with some good stops for the Cougars, but does appear to be too little too late at this point.
Third and long now. And we've got a timeout with 1:44 to go, and Sioux leading 56-35. But we have a timeout. And they're going to punt this one away. And the Cougars going to return this one cleanly on the one hop. Caught from behind. And Nakoma Scott on that return.
Yeah, good job by 65, though, for the Sabercats, even this late in the game with not a whole lot on the line at this point, coming in still and showing that energy and able to take them down.
226, 229, 1863.
Cougars have the ball at their own 25.
And the Cougars going to keep this one on the ground.
I get them both instantaneously.
Looked like that was Szymanski. Good job fighting through the hand tackle on the jersey.
I have Sal's number in mine, and it still comes up as unidentified number, even though I have it in my phone. I'm like, Sal, you can't give me your number and block it.
Oh, I got, you know, this is the third time. I got a call in today from Canada Revenue.
Are you being charged by the sheriff's departments?
Well, this time they didn't say that. They just said, you must respond to this right away. Like, I kept one actually on my machine just for a while.
Well, they're sending the sheriff's department after me.
The thing is, they don't even,
Zach Martin on the stop.
Nakoma Scott with the carry that time.
don't even say who they're talking to.
Really, it's, as we all know, just a matter of running out this clock with 1:06 to play here in this football game. And Sioux with a hefty lead, 56-35.
I say, hold on, let me go my credit card. It's the phone now.
And certainly not the way that we thought the second half was going to play out, given that it was tied at 28-all at the half.
And not even the way I don't think that we thought this game was going to play out in general. But to our surprise, I mean, I don't think either of us had ever seen Nick Pagnotta play football before. So I think we may have had some different expectations going into this game if we'd known the kind of stuff that he was capable of. And really, him and Tyler Bretchen, you mentioned his name a number of times in this game as well. The two-headed monster that they present in this game just overran the Cougars. And Cougars kept up in the first half after blowing open an early lead. And then, yeah, to their credit, the Sabercats made a number of adjustments.
They've got the clock running there. The Sioux taking a knee, and they're going to let this one run down. And the Sioux Sabercats, as you said, Matt, make it worth their while to come down to Chatham. They're going to drive home with a 56-35 victory over the junior varsity Cougars, handing the Cougars their first loss of the season. And these two teams now have identical 4-1 records.
Yeah, just a great job by the Sabercats making those adjustments in the second half. I think if there was a turning point in this game, it might have been that turnover when Ethan Jordan dropped the ball deep in Sabercats territory in the third quarter there. They had a chance to equalize it, and from there on out, the Sabercats just went on and took the lead, never looked back.
So that'll wrap up this football game. The Cougars suffer their first loss of the season to the visiting Sioux Sabercats. On behalf of my partner, Matt Weaverink, Jeff Brooks on the camera, I'm Mike James. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for more Chatham-Kent Cougars football on your TV.